Hi, my name is Wendy Hayden and I'm with Natural Constipation Solutions, and today we're going to talk about what it means when you've had a lot of constipation and then you start experiencing diarrhea. So it can be a couple things. So one thing that it can be that's really common is that you are still constipated, and what you see and you're thinking of as diarrhea is actually liquid stool that is going around a hard ball of stool that is higher up in your intestines and is kind of almost blocking the normal passage of stool. So what happens is, the stool is supposed to have the water get sucked out of it as it processes all the food and everything goes through your intestines. And if you have this big hard ball of stool and then the solids are not able to get around, and it can keep getting more and more backed up, and then you end up having liquid stool that flows around that hard ball of stool higher up in your intestines, and then it comes out as diarrhea. So if that's the case, what you probably need to do is do a clean out. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use something like Naturopath magnesium or another type of magnesium citrate that is easy to dose to bowel tolerance. And I have a video on how to do a constipation clean out that I'll link to above, and I'll also put it down in the description. You might also want to add some coconut oil, and you can take it by mouth. I have some recipes for things, I call them poop candy, that are different types of candy that are made with coconut oil that will help. The reason why you want to take the coconut oil is what it's going to do is it's going to go in and it's going to kind of coat the stool. So the magnesium, what it does is it brings a lot of liquid into the stool, and it's going to make that hard ball of stool kind of soften and eventually break up, and you'll be able to pass it. What the coconut oil does is it's going to lubricate it, and it's going to make it so it's easier to pass. And so both of those things are super helpful, and coconut oil does have a laxative quality to it as well. So if that is not enough to be able to get a significant amount of stool out, what you might also want to look at is doing an enema. So this especially works well if the blockage of stool or the hard ball of stool is lower down in your intestines, and using an enema can help it to go in there and start breaking it up and making it easier for it to pass. So if you're very uncomfortable, that is something that can maybe speed the process up a little bit. A suppository is probably not going to be enough to make a difference with that, but an enema can be. So you can get fleet enemas at the store. There's also coffee enemas and things like that are things that if you're interested in trying that. So that's one possibility. The other possibility is that maybe you're dealing with something like celiac disease can cause both constipation and it can cause diarrhea. So if you're having, constipation for a period of time and then diarrhea for a period of time, it could be a clue to you of what is going on. So a lot of times what will happen is you'll get diagnosed with IBS and, constipation to diarrhea, and they just say you have IBS. But IBS is actually a diagnosis of exclusion. And what that means is that they don't really know what's causing the problem. They don't know what the root cause is, and so they say it's IBS. But that's not really a helpful diagnosis. It's not like there's a treatment for IBS. There's a treatment for the symptoms. If you're constipated, you do this. If you're, whatever. But it isn't going to actually ever. You're not going to have a resolution to it until you know what is causing the IBS symptoms. So if you're having, back and forth with constipation, diarrhea, I have a video on gluten, and that is a super common cause of this. And you might want to look at that and watch the video that I'll link to. Another possibility is that you have thyroid problems, and sometimes what a thyroid problem can do is that when you are hypothyroid, it slows your digestion down, and it can cause constipation from that. And then as you get to hyperthyroid, because for some people there are not just one or the other, but it can change back and forth, and when they get to hyperthyroid, it can cause diarrhea because your metabolism goes so fast, and that's why you can gain weight when you're hypothyroid and lose weight when you're hyperthyroid if your thyroid is going back and forth with how it's working. So Hashimoto's is something common, that a diagnosis that can happen. So this is definitely a clue. It's something that you should talk to your doctor about if this is something that's recurring over and over again, and you want to go to a functional medicine doctor or an integrative medicine doctor or a naturopath, and they will be able to help you to figure out what the root cause is of these problems. Unfortunately, if you're going to a regular doctor, often they don't do the testing and they don't try to figure out what's going on. They just give you a prescription and send you on your way. And some of the things that they can give you can actually cause worse problems long term. So Miralax is a laxative that I absolutely do not recommend. It is one of the same ingredients that's in antifreeze. So it is not something that you want to use. It is not approved for use in children under 17, and it's not approved for use in anyone for more than 7 days. So you want to look for other safer alternatives. Like I said, magnesium is a good option. There's lots of different types of magnesium. And coconut oil is another option. Vitamin C is an option. Sen is an option. I have videos on all of these different things on my website. But the absolute critical thing, or down below, I'll have videos linked, and they're in playlists on the YouTube as well, and also on my website, Natural Constipation Solutions. I have lots of information. But the critical thing is to figure out why this is happening. What is causing your constipation? Diet? Is it gluten? Is it dairy? Do you have a soy intolerance? There's something, is your thyroid messed up? There's something that is causing this. So it is really important to look for that. So I have a root cause playlist, if you look for that on the channel, and watch some of those videos and see if there's some other things on those videos that are like, oh, I have that too, and maybe this is a clue to me of what's going on, what's causing my problems. So I hope this video has been helpful to you, and I'll talk to you again soon.